Okay, so this video is going to be a flip through of two of my bullet journals. These journals encapsulate between 2016 and 2020, so I've got 2016, 2017 in here, and 2019 and 2020 in here. So I managed to get 2 years out of both of these journals, and I thought it might be some good inspiration if I just showed you what my journals looked like for the last 4 years, because it's definitely progressed. Okay, so this is the first one. This one I started at the start of 2016. And I just drew this on in Tipp-Ex. I think it means a symbol that means change, but I actually can't remember anymore, but at the time I thought it was cool. Looks a bit grotty just because it's been in with books now. I've just been trying to keep it. I didn't really like how a lot of other people have set up their bullet journals. I don't really like the habit trackers or the like goals and tracking your water and things, so I don't really do that anymore. I mix and match between different things in this journal, you'll see, but this is more of a free-form journal. I found it a lot more creative, and I've kind of encapsulated my journaling and to-do list as well. And I switched up week by week as well, as you see. So as you see, I did try and do a contents to begin with, but I didn't actually find that this was that helpful for me. Okay, so this is the first month, January 2016, and I decided to do a monthly cover spread for each month, and I would put pictures and cutouts and quotes that sort of related to that month. Here we've got a picture of Ed Sheeran because I like Ed Sheeran. This is a sketch I did of a particular moment during this month that I thought was a fun one to remember. I did try and track my fitness, so this was the only kind of habit tracker I did try, and I also began Yoga with Adriene, which is what this relates to. I've also got song lyrics here and a picture of when I went on a walk during the month, so as you can see it's a bit of everything, a bit colourful. I didn't really follow much themes, stuck some washi tape and did a few drawings and cutouts and bits. Okay, this was my very first spread, and I decided I wasn't going to go for any structure and just throw everything at the page because I didn't know what I'd like. I didn't follow any colour schemes or anything, and this is actually one of my favourite spreads. So most of it is to-do lists and appointments that I've put in different ways. I've got cut out sticky notes and bits, as well as pictures of when I went out, for example, and then a list of reminders and a few quotes and things inside as well. So this was really colourful. As you can see, I sort of try to do some sort of colour scheme sometimes. I did play about with the different layouts, so here I've folded a page and made it a to-do list, and then just here I've written a list of dreams. I quite enjoyed having this column that sort of saw my week at a glance and writing in important things I needed to remember before I actually wrote them in to-do lists. And then I've got little journal entries here. You can't really see, but I incorporated that throughout the weeks. Again, you can see this is more of a beige colour theme with pops of red and green, and I tried to map out my day here, morning, afternoon and evening, because that worked for me for quite a while as well. Here we've got a nice blue, violet theme, and then green and black as well. This is a spread I used for revision, so I've got all of the things I need to revise for during exams, and then a day-by-day plan of how I was going to do that before I actually get to exams. This was through the Easter holidays, so that was sort of how I was tackling it. This is like a wee journal page where we went to Ireland as a family, and I wrote little bits and bobs of what we did. A little red and black theme. Here's like an example of just, I think this was a page that needed to be filled, so I just had a lot of spare cutouts and colours, so I thought I'd put them all together and make a wee collage, which I think looks really nice and fills the page quite nicely. This is another journal entry of when I went to London. I quite like the spread as well, it's nice colours and bits of journal entries as well. Here is a wee quote page. This was actually a quote from a Canon advert, I think, a while ago, but it really resonated with me. I was heading off to Tanzania for a month and I was really nervous about it, and it was basically all about me pushing myself out of my comfort zone, so I was just trying to hype myself up, but it worked well as a page also. And then here, this is my journal entry of my time in Tanzania. As you can see, I included pictures as well as like bits and bobs. There's a leaf and a ticket and a wee map, and I also followed the colour scheme of the flag, which I really like that spread. It's so nice to look back on things like this and put an effort into it as well. Here's another one of the weekly trackers that I enjoy doing, and I've also got a weekly shop here as well, and some goals. Sometimes I did this, sometimes I didn't, it just depended. Another small revision section, but effective. Here's another one of those filling pages, where these are just tickets. I went ice skating, cinema tickets, train tickets, and pictures from Christmas. I also took some pictures from Pinterest, as well as taking my own pictures. At the end of 2017, I did a collage of a lot of pictures I'd taken just to sort of sum up the year, which was really nice to look back on again, just seeing everything I've done and all the people I met and things like that. So I did this for 2017 and 2018. Now this is a passage from a person called Holly Butcher, which I think is a lady who died of cancer, and this was published in a newspaper. I found it really inspiring to look back on and truly like live your life to the fullest. It was very motivating, and I underlined important bits, and I've looked back on this regularly, so I thought I would just copy it into here and then I can flick back at it when anytime I want. But yeah, I just put some gold bannering around there. I have gold pens. All the pens I use is just biro and pencil and like coloured pens, nothing fancy. I did some watercolour here, and I've done a few of them in and out of the book. Here's another watercolour. Another collage page from March. This was my March spread. This is a trip I went on with a club from university, and so I wrote everything that happened, and I have all these pictures around here, and unfortunately I have to blur a lot of this out because a lot of these things I don't think need to be public. Another wee watercolour I did just to fill a page. It was quite a nice way of doing it. This is my June spread, which was kind of a little bit different to what I'd done before, but I think it's really effective, simple but effective, and yeah. Here's something slightly different I did. I copied out Love You in the Dark chords into the journal because I was learning that during that week, and I've done some sketches here just to fill in the page. It's just a nice wee creative thing to do in the evening. This is my photo page from Thailand, so instead of doing a journal entry during this trip, I just made a photo page of a few of my favourite photos from different places we went. So that was 2016-2017. This is 2019 and 2020. This little card I just got in a package that I ordered one time, and I thought it was cute, so I just stuck it in with some picture tabs. So here was my original January spread. So here I did make a little key and tallied some things I wanted to keep track of. Nothing major, and included a few of my favourite pictures from that month also. Much of this is the same. I get a lot more journal-y in this one as well, but I still keep with my deadline planning like before. Another trip with the club again. This is another wee journal entry of a trip I went on, and I've kept like the little train tickets. I listen to this song a lot, so I've popped a little lyrics in there too. This is one of my favourite spreads in the book. It's when I went to Macau. It's just a journal entry of the things I did there, and again, just pictures and bits and bobs stuck in around the sides. This was quite a nice colourful page. Here I had a running rehab program because I was injured at the time, so I was trying to work up towards doing a race, so I included a little planner in there. Unfortunately I didn't continue with the rehab, I just had to rest it, but the thought was there. This is a slightly different layout, so I used lines to separate the days, and casual magic is something I quite like doing, just a little highlight of the day. And then during lockdown I started doing the quarantine diaries, where just things I did during quarantine because it was a time I wanted to remember, and this was a funny quote I saw online during that time. Also during lockdown I decided to do lockdown selfies, so every day for I think 80 days, because it obviously went on longer than we thought, I took a selfie and I wrote 3 fun things that I did that day, again just to keep my mood up and to remember what I did during the pandemic in its starter stages. And there's the other ones, there's a few that I couldn't quite fit, but yeah. I read Women Don't Owe You Pretty, so these are a selection of the quotes I highlighted on my Kindle that I thought I would just dump on a page just for the days when you need a bit more empowering, you know. I got really into horoscopes at one point, so I'm a Gemini, and you can't really see this because it's in very faint pen, but I wrote out all my birth chart and my sun and my moon rising and things like that. I had an assessment in October, so this was sort of my general approach to the assessment. I thought I would just write everything here instead of using up another notebook that I'd probably lose. So I have this here, and then I also made a little week by week one just before the end of the assessment, just to make sure I have everything on track. So yeah, that has been my journal. I hope that was somewhat of interest to you. I thought it might spark some inspiration of anyone else who's wanting to do bullet journaling, and this is a slightly more creative way of doing it rather than fiddling about with precise lines and things, because I just don't have time for that, and I much prefer this way. I feel like it's a bit more authentic, so yeah. Oh, also this book is Lutrum 1917. I'm not entirely sure how you pronounce that, but I just got it off Amazon. It's about £15 I think, I'm not sure, but the notebook with the dots I still find quite helpful, so yeah, definitely worth your time.